And joining me now from Erbil, Iraq, is journalist Sofia Barbarani. Sofia, I understand you have an electricity shortage, so you're with us here via Skype and flashlight. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
So let's begin with Tikrit. Is there a sense of how much time this offensive will take, if it's to be successful, to retake the city from the Islamic State?
Well, like your report said, there have been two instances before this one where there have been attempts to take Tikrit, and they have both failed. It seems now that with a combination of Iraqi military forces, Shia militia, Sunni militia, and the call for airstrikes, they may be able to go further. Some voices say that it will take between maybe 3, 4, or 5 days. We might see it fall by Friday. It's all speculation. What I think is that they are likely to be able to take the outskirts of the city, potentially the university, but it's very difficult to get to the center. It's very likely that the Islamic State will entrench themselves in the center, and that's when we'll see a real struggle for the Iraqi military forces.
What is so critical about this city in particular for the Iraqi military to begin this offensive?
It's very symbolic. I mean, this is the first real time that since the Iraqi military forces basically melted away in June and dissolved. This is a first push forward to what everyone is really waiting for, which is taking back Mosul city. So not only is it symbolic in terms of Mosul, but it's also symbolic for the Iraqi military forces to show that they are back together, that they have trained for this, and that they will be able to go forward and retake the areas that they lost in June.
So looking at this offensive in Tikrit and in Mosul, which is expected from at least what the American administration says around mid-April, where do Kurdish forces fit in all of this? Because they've been a very major part of fighting the Islamic State.
Yeah, absolutely. They have. In terms of Tikrit, I spoke to the Peshmerga spokesperson today, and he was adamant that the Kurds will have nothing to do in the battle against Tikrit. However, in terms of Mosul, they certainly will play a role. They are in talks now with both with the Iraqi military forces and the coalition forces as to how they're going to go forward and take back Mosul. Having said that, it's very likely that they will play sort of a secondary role. The Kurds aren't willing to go in. They aren't willing to spill blood for a city that they don't really consider their own. So I think what they've been doing right now is coming in from the north and starting to pave their way. The Iraqi military is coming in from the south. So they are helping, but they won't be. It's unlikely that they will be a critical force in the taking back of Mosul.
What are you hearing from Erbil, for example, in particular, about, in terms from Kurdish forces on the U.S.-led coalition, in terms of aid from the United States and the coalition? Are they satisfied? Are they crying out for more? Where does that stand?
It varies a lot. A lot of the Peshmerga forces or Peshmerga soldiers that I've spoken to on the ground, on the front lines, are, as we have heard repeatedly, asking for heavy weapons. They're asking for more help. However, having said that, they are also extremely grateful. A lot of the land that they've taken back, a lot of the areas they've managed to recapture, they say has been because of coalition airstrikes. I mean, on the ground, they can only do so much. They are really very lightly armed. So the coalition has played a huge role in what the Peshmerga forces have been doing so far.
Sofia Barbarani in Erbil this evening, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.